this is the amount of energy that you receive, or what a gallon of gasoline does for you. And so look at it, it says exhaust. And look at that pie chart. How much energy you think actually goes out your exhaust pipe? 50% of every gallon of gasoline goes out your tailpipe. How much goes out the cylinder walls? 15, 35? 20%. 20% goes out the cylinder walls. That's either, if you have a liquid-cooled system, it's going to go into the cooling system and out the radiator. If it's an air-cooled, it's just going out the fins. What do you think goes into friction? 5% goes into friction. Friction is the bearings, the crankshaft turning in the bearings, or the piston scraping on the cylinder walls, just the energy it takes to get the engine to actually physically turn over. 5% is lost in friction, which pretty much leaves me with 25%. Go ahead and scroll it up. 25% of every gallon of gasoline actually moves the vehicle, turns the mower deck, turns the reels, does some kind of work for us. Diesel actually produces 36 to 40% of its gallon of fuel goes into usable work. Why are we seeing a trend toward diesel engines more and more? Every gallon of fuel is a lot more efficient. I get more energy out of every gallon of fuel. The cost of diesel fuel compared to gasoline, diesel fuel right now, if you're not paying taxes, is actually lower than gasoline. And so I'm buying a cheaper fuel that does more work. What's the drawback with diesel? Maintenance is not a drawback. There's one major drawback with a diesel. It's not emissions. It's not the glow plugs. What's that? It's not the smell. Noise can be a problem. On golf courses, noise is an issue, but it's not the #1 drawback. What's that? Snow? Oh, smell. No, it's not the odor. It's the weight. The #1 drawback in the golf industry for diesel engines is the weight. Because a diesel engine is the structure of the engine is much, much heavier. And so the weight of a diesel engine compared to a gas engine is much higher. And almost all the diesel engines that we deal with are liquid cooled. So you add not just the weight of a diesel engine, but then the whole cooling system. Whereas if I was to use a gasoline engine that was an air-cooled gas engine is going to be much, much lighter because I take the whole cooling system off. The weight of 1 gallon of water is about 25 pounds. So if I take that whole system off, and then I take the block and shave it down, compaction is a big issue in this industry. And so the #1 downfall is weight. And so they've done more and more to make those engines smaller and smaller and smaller and lighter, as light as possible. And we're starting to see diesel engines get clear down into greens mowers and a lot of our small turf equipment that we're seeing. The positive side of it is the fact that diesel engines take very little maintenance. And so you save on the maintenance, you save on fuel. It costs a lot more. So negative is it costs a lot more and they're heavier. Those are the two things that draw back. If you have to replace a diesel engine because the operator forgot to put oil in it, it's a very large price tag. So other than that, diesel engines have a lot of benefits that we're looking at. And this is one of the biggest benefits that we're seeing.